Hey guys, welcome to the shop, and today I'm going to be building an axe for my friend. So let's get started. Alright, so the axe my friend needs is just going to be a prop, so we don't really have to worry about it being strong. So, I've got a piece of plywood here that looks like it's about 22 inches that consistently across. So we're going to mark it at about 11 here. If I can get my tape measure to work. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double this up. So I'm going to cut it right along this line here and go from there. So let's draw a shape. He said that he wanted a double-headed axe. So we'll start with, I guess we'll put the handle there and make a nice big axe there. That looks horrible. Alright, so it looks pretty much like a Batman symbol, but we're gonna go with this. Alright, so it looks like we cut off a little bit, but we can make that work. Alright, so I have 3 little X's here, and as you can see I did flip it over. The idea here is that I'm just going to use these screws, hold the 2 pieces of wood together, and then that way when I cut it out on the bandsaw, I can make both cuts with only one pass. Alright, so here I have it. One of the screws would not pull through, but I screwed up from the bottom, and if you can see it there, because it does poke through a little bit here and a little bit there. Didn't want that pushing up off the table, so I'm going to go ahead and get cutting. Alright, so I have them both cut out, and this looks nothing like what I drew in the first place. It's actually pretty bad, but it's free to him, so he's going to deal with it. Alright, so I found this yardstake, because, you know, I'm in the shed, and it has a nice little bevel on the edge, 2 of the 4 edges here, and I think it'd make for a really nice handle. So, trying to figure out how I'm going to put these 2 together and still have the handle in there, but roughly in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is place it on here, draw a line on either side, cut it on the bandsaw, and then just kind of fit the 2 blades together on the edge of the main post. So let's see how that works out. Alright, so I've cut off the 2 sides here, and we line that up. Let's see, you know what, I think it'd be cooler looking that way. So let's see, that one goes over here, and this one goes over here, and I think that lines up pretty well. So let's go to the glue. Alright, actually, instead of gluing first, get around the camera, I'm going to clamp on the edges here, and try not going off camera, so that I can flip it over, have it all lined up, and then put a screw or 2 into the main handle. Alright, so we're going to go with these 2 screws that I found, and let's go ahead and put some glue in here. I think it might rain soon. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drill a little pilot hole in there after I fix the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Kinda. Alright, got a pilot hole. And I have no idea what size screws these are. I was just using them in the basement to hold up some shelves, but I no longer need the shelves. I'm actually going to go find 2 shorter screws because that's actually poking through. So the shorter screw that I found is basically from the same project, except this one went into the shelf instead of into the studs in the basement. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot that in there. And we can go ahead and take off this clamp, drill another pilot hole, and if we can get the screw in there. Alright, and let's try to get a good shot there, kinda. Alright. Alright, so here's the beginning of the axe. As you can see, it kind of points up. Figure that looked kind of cool. This seems like more of the business end just because it comes down a bit farther. But it's very light. And also, there's a nice little point at the bottom. I don't know, aesthetics maybe? So let's go up to the garage, get the nailer, and put on the rest of it. Alright, so this is basically the only clean spot of the bench in the garage. But I have a nailer with some really small nails, the 2 sides to put on here, and some glue to hold it all together. So I'm basically just gonna do what I explained there. I have some little strips of poplar that I have left over from making a basket, and they work great to smear the glue around. Alright, so there's some glue. And I'll line these up nicely. Now I gotta make sure to line them up so the outside edges are flush, not necessarily flush with the handle.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put it there and there.
Alright. So here's the handle, or I'm sorry, the axe. And I did poke through a little bit there, and you do have 2 screws here. Probably not going to spend much time at all. Actually, I'm not going to spend any time at sanding off the edges. Something doesn't feel right with just this. So I'm just going to use some finish on it to make it a little bit darker. It's a nice gunstock, I think is the color. Works great on red oak, haven't tried it on pine. Alright, so this is looking a lot better than just the plain pine. And I'm only going to put on 1 coat just because I need it done by tomorrow morning. So, yeah, off to the head. Alright, I'm now ready to start painting the head. I had gray, but I don't know what happened to it. So it's going to get a nice dark blue coat that I thought was black. But it's going to look good. Alright. Did a very bad job with that there. Alright, so I finished the axe. I've got a nice dark blue, kind of almost black on the edge there. It's got a little spike on the bottom. and it's all been either stained or painted. So hopefully this works. That's actually not the end of the video. I happened to come across some gray paint inside, and we're going to add that on for some details. Alright. Let me get to a better place to show this off. Alright, now the axe is done. And I got a little bit carried away, but since this is envisioned as the business end, we're just gonna pretend that we already had some fun with it. Nothing makes you feel like a kid, like running towards the shed in the backyard with a giant axe in hand. Till next time.